What's going on everyone, and welcome back to another video. My name is Noman and today's analysis video is going to be about the League Cup game between Manchester United and Manchester City. So Manchester United lined up in a 4-2-3-1 formation, but their formation on the ground was mostly 4-4-2, with Jesse Lingard and Daniel James dropping in the midfield, with Rashford and Mason Greenwood the two men up front. While Manchester City on the other hand lined up in a 4-3-3 formation without a proper number 9 in the team. Bernardo Silva was playing more like a false 9, but he was mostly dropping in the midfield with possession, and City often had a formation of 4-2-2-2. So Man City decided to sacrifice the number 9 in order to add an extra midfielder in their team. And this extra midfielder helped Man City to create overloads on different areas of the ground. So this is how the two teams were set up on the ground. Manchester United's 4-2-3-1 formation against Man City's 4-3-3. During the build-up phase, Rodrigo and Gundogan made a double pivot against Jesse Lingard. Rashford and Mason Greenwood were trying to press the City centre-backs to stop their build-up. Gundogan and Rodrigo made a double pivot against Jesse Lingard and they created a 2v1 position for Manchester City. Now in order to stop the Manchester United midfielders from moving up and helping Jesse Lingard against the overload, De Bruyne and Bernardo Silva also created a two-man pivot behind Gundogan and Rodrigo, which kept the two Manchester United holding midfielders busy. 2v1 against Jesse Lingard and 2v2 against Fred and Andreas Periera. And that gave Kyle Walker the chance to freely move up and down and create the overload against Williams on the right flank. And this is why you must have seen during the game as well that most of Man City's attacks in this game were actually coming from the right side, because Williams was getting isolated time and time again. This image from Who Scored also confirms that 41% of Man City's attacks in this game were actually coming from the right side, where Kyle Walker and Mahrez were creating the overload against Williams. Rashford and Mason Greenwood are the two players responsible for pressing the Man City centre-backs, and here we can see De Bruyne dropping to create the overload against Jesse Lingard. 2v1 against Jesse Lingard, and that has forced Fred to move up and neutralize the numbers advantage. Fred moves up to make it 2v2, and that leaves Andreas Periera in a 1v2 position against Gundogan and Bernardo Silva. De Bruyne to Bernardo Silva, and Andreas, who was left in a 1v2 position, can now only cover one out of the two players. De Bruyne to Bernardo Silva, Silva's one-touch pass to Rodrigo, who plays a first-time pass to release Gundogan. Once again, same 1v2 against Jesse Lingard, but this time Andreas Periera and Fred have decided to move up to help Lingard, and they have decided to leave De Bruyne and Bernardo Silva totally free. Gundogan receives the ball and he plays a one-touch pass to Otamendi. Since Fred and Periera had decided to move up this time, so now De Bruyne and Bernardo Silva are totally free to receive the pass behind the Manchester United midfield. Since Man City had a clear advantage in the midfield, so it was too easy for them to build their play from the back, as they had multiple passing lanes available to play the pass. This right side overload was there for Manchester City throughout the game, and it was this midfield advantage that helped Man City to score the first goal as well. Once again, Jesse Lingard on Rodrigo, Fred on De Bruyne, and Andreas Periera is trying to cover Bernardo Silva. Daniel James has this time decided to lead Mendy and cover Gundogan to neutralize the midfield advantage. Once again, 2v1 against Williams on the right flank. De Bruyne to Kyle Walker, and that has forced Fred to drop in the defense and help Williams against the overload. Fred was taken out by Kyle Walker and Gundogan continues his run inside the box. Instead of closing down Bernardo Silva, Andreas Periera takes a step back to cut the possible through ball option. Periera cuts the through ball option, but that gives Bernardo Silva the time and space to take a direct shot at the goal. And all of this started because of that wide overload. If Rashford had tracked back and helped Williams against the overload, Fred would have been easily able to cover Bernardo Silva. But since Fred was forced to drop in the defense to help against the overload, it gave Bernardo Silva enough time and space to take a shot at the goal and score the goal. In order to stop this wide overload, Fred at times decided to move to the wide area to cover Kyle Walker, but that left Andreas Periera in a 1v2 position against De Bruyne and Bernardo Silva. And whenever Daniel James moved to the midfield to neutralize the numbers advantage, it left Benjamin Mendy totally free and gave Man City the chance to create the same overload on the left side. Manchester United were having issues on both sides of the ground. Without possession, they were failing to stop Man City's build-up, and different overloads. And with possession, Man City's man-oriented high press made it very difficult for Manchester United to build their play from the back. Nice man-oriented high press from Man City. They are blocking the nearby passing options and they are forcing Lindelof to go long. Lindelof under pressure forced to go long and he gives the ball straight to Gundogan. Once again, blocking the nearby passing options and forcing Manchester United to go long. Man City's high line spotting the high press and Man City easily win possession. Because of Man City's high press, De Gea was often forced to go long, but his distribution in this game was very poor, and he was only able to find his target man once. De Gea only completed one accurate long pass out of the total 30. His passing accuracy in this game was also very low at 66.7%. Manchester United were 3-0 down at halftime, and Ole decided to change the position of Andreas Periera in the second half. Andreas Periera started operating at the number 10 position where Jesse Lingard was playing in the first half. But Periera did a very decent job of finding spaces in between the lines. Opens the passing lane, receives the ball from Lindelof and he tries to exploit the space in between the lines. Before Periera could play the ball to Rashford, Rodrigo made a tactical foul and was able to stop the attack. Manchester United were able to get one back, but the game pretty much ended in the first 30 minutes when City went 3-0 up. The decision to sacrifice a number 9 in order to add an extra midfielder was a very good one, as Man City were able to create overloads on different areas of the ground using that extra midfielder. We have seen the use of a number 9 and a false 9, but we rarely see a team playing without a number 9 or a false 9. Thank you so much guys for watching the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please don't forget to like and subscribe.